Good morning, English 12. This is Mrs. Sopiarz-Rianda. I hope you had a fantastic weekend, and I hope you are enjoying the novel that you selected for this science fiction novel. Last week, you read the first quarter, the first fourth of your novel. This week, you're going to read the next quarter. So by the end of this week, you should be halfway through with your novel. So let's get started. Clicking on materials, Unit 4, Session 2 is due by the 17th. And here is our session plan. As always, we're going to continue the study of science fiction this week. And throughout this session, you're going to see different images from all the different novels. So try to find your image that is applicable to your novel throughout the session. As always, if you need extra help, please call me, message me, text me, email me. I'm here to help. But if I also do have a help session every single Wednesday at 11 a.m. You can join that by just clicking on the link right over there. It's just a question and answer, so you don't have to wait till Wednesday. You can always just email me or message me if you have a question. Here is our list of assignments this week. Basically, 3 assignments: your second reader response journal, discussion post, and then the character analysis mind map. And here is that suggested schedule for the week. Basically, you should be reading about 15 pages or so every day. And if you do that throughout the week, then you should be just keeping on track for the schedule of reading your book. Okay, everyone reads a little bit slower or faster. I'm actually not a very fast reader, if you can believe it. And so it might take you longer, but a good rule of thumb is to read about 10 to 15 pages every night. And if you do that, then you should stay on track for the entire unit. Okay, so click Next. And here are the essential questions that we are going to be thinking about as we are going through our session this week. Okay, so as I mentioned, you're going to be reading the next quarter of your novel, so be sure to use that reading plan. As you read, start thinking about one of your main characters and focus on how they develop in this section of the book. It'll help you with the assignment later on in this session. So the first thing to do is to go to your discussion board. And the way you do this is by simply clicking through Next until you find your discussion board in this session. And you are going to start getting into some serious discussion on content here of the science fiction novels. So in your discussion group this week, post to this prompt. Write 1 paragraph reaction to the book so far using a reader response lens. And you should all be familiar with that at this point. If not, just click on that hyperlink and it'll give you a refresher. This is the same thing that we did in Unit 2, remember? What connections can you make to the text so far? Remember, personal connections. What thoughts and emotions has the action of the book invoked so far? You might also want to ask questions on any part of the book that intrigues you or confuses you. Remember, this group is where you can ask questions. So you don't always have to ask me questions if you don't understand something. If you don't understand something, odds are somebody else that's reading the book doesn't understand it either. And it's fun to be able to have that conversation and learn from each other. And that's what the discussion board is all about. Be sure to respond to at least 3 other students' posts in this discussion board. So you would navigate through the session and find your discussion board. Remember, you're only posting to your novel discussion board. You will be exempt from all the other discussions, obviously. After that, you're going to be writing your second reader response journal. So the requirements are the same as last week. Minimum of 1 page, discusses, not summarizes, the events in this quarter of the book. Okay, so you wrote it on the first quarter last week. This week you're just focusing on the portion you read. Be sure that you demonstrate critical thinking and that the paragraphs are cohesive and clear topics. Remember, as I've been encouraging you guys, choose one of these prompts and develop a paragraph all on that one topic. So if you choose 3 or 4 of these prompts and develop well-developed paragraphs, then you would fill that requirement of 1 page minimum. Okay? And as always, the rubric and the example are down here if you need to refer to it again. You would submit it here. And then your last assignment for this session is you're going to create a character analysis map. And you're going to be doing that using Google Docs drawing. You're going to be exploring some of the characteristics of one of your main characters. Remember, I mentioned that earlier, to focus on that one main character or a main character. This is why. Your map should look something like this example. And this is actually the template from Google Docs that you can use if you choose to. So be sure to read through these directions very carefully. The biggest thing to focus on is to log into Google using your Schoology account, not your personal account. If you don't know your personal account information, your Jeffco, then contact me and I can refer you to Mr. Self. But you should know that at this point. If not, no worries. Just let me know. And so you can use this template that is up here, or you could create your own. It's totally up to you. But these are the requirements. You have to have your main character or a character, 4 traits, and then examples, details, very specific details from the book that demonstrate that characteristic or that trait. And I also created a video here for you, so please be sure to watch that and help creating that Google Doc. Okay? And then you would submit it here. And here's the thing, when you submit your link to your Google Doc, you will submit a junk document. Doesn't matter what document you submit. It could be an image, it could be anything you want to share, or nothing at all. But you have to submit something, some kind of document into the Dropbox, and in the comment section on the right-hand side in your Dropbox, that's where you would paste your link. That's how you would submit. So that way I can just click on it and it can open. It's very easy that way. And that brings us to the end of our session. Next week we're going to be continuing reading and focusing in on all the tools that authors use to develop their ideas, as well as consider how theme impacts our understanding of a text. So stay tuned.